Hello traders, good morning. Welcome to this video on the euro dollar and pound dollar. My name is Chris from Elite Currency. And let's start with that euro dollar. Dollar was in a decent downtrend, as you can see. And we had last 2 weeks though some wicks indicating some selling pressure on the euro dollar, some dollar strength and euro weakness in this case, after a pretty decent run up, as we can see, all the way from 106 close to 124 in a matter of less than a year, basically. We had some flags in between here, a triangle here basically, and here a flag, and here a bigger flag. And now we're getting some hidden divergence, or not hidden, but actually some smaller divergence on this weekly chart. Plus the candlestick patterns. I think we're looking at a potential retracement of this uptrend here on the weekly chart. Let's put the fib on this. If this is a 5-wave pattern up, 1, 2, 3, and we're getting a 4, that means that the correction could be quite sizable, for instance, to the 23.6 or the 38.2 fib. Those are actually shallow fibs, don't get me wrong, but in terms of a 4-hour or 1-hour chart, there's a lot of space down to 120 and 117.50. So from that point of view, there's some decent space. These shallow fibs typically will offer support in a trend and in a wave 4. So let's see if that happens. We also have the moving averages there. So that's what I'm expecting at this moment, for price to get down to first 23.6 fib, then maybe a correction, and maybe even a further down move to the 38, and then an uptrend continuation here later this year. All right. Now, waves 4 are also typically choppy and corrective, and they could be quite long. So it might be that we get a couple of weeks or maybe even months where price kind of goes sideways like that and then moves up. So maybe it could last the whole first quarter, for instance. That's a possibility. It's a little bit too soon to say. I mean, we're just starting. This is actually last week we still had a higher high, but that is certainly something to consider, in my view at least. Anyhow, more to practical matters. If today's daily candle is bearish, that's three bearish candles in a row. That's the bearish candlestick pattern. And I do expect a flag and continuation lower down to that 23.6 fib. And it looks like a 5-wave pattern is finished for the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, down to the 4-hour chart. There we can see that there was double divergence between these tops. So that was already a reversal, a warning. Plus we had a little bit of a rising wedge as well at the very end. That's another warning sign of a reversal. Plus, of course, we broke through that wedge, plus the 21 EMA. We're seeing pretty strong price action at this moment. Now, that said, price has already reached the 144 and 233 EMA zone support. So, although it could fall a little bit more, there's not much space to fall right here, right now. And I do think that there's a higher chance that eventually price will make a bounce up rather than move down. It's just running out of space at this moment, in my view. So what to expect? I think price there's a potential for price to dip a little bit lower here, but ultimately, eventually, either here or a little bit lower, I suspect that price is going to make a bear flag or some ABC correction. And I think that price could go up as far, probably the deepest it can go, the furthest it can go is 122.75. That might be wishful thinking. It might not get that high. If it does, it could be a head and shoulders pattern. Let's take a look at that, right? If it's ABC like that, you have here a left shoulder ahead and then a right shoulder, and I would expect the price makes a bearish bounce and decline. If it shows bearish candlestick patterns, it could start a fall down to that 120 target that I have here at the 23.6 fib, and with 7 as well, by the way. It doesn't have to get that deep, though. It could just be an ABC like this. Maybe hit 122.50 or a flag. If it breaks that flag, of course, then also it seems ready for a decline lower. So any upside, any bounce, I think it's likely to take place here or from 121, but there's not a lot of upside potential because it's going to hit resistance, and then in my view, the biggest space, the biggest move is either from 122.50ish down to 120ish. And at 120, I would expect again a bullish bounce at the 23.6 fib, the round level of 120, and the width 7. If we get a bounce there, so if we get something like that, as I expect, maybe down, ABC, then down, then I expect a bullish bounce and ABC back up if we're going to get a complex correction. So if it's ABC up, then we might see another leg down again, or some triangle pattern as well. A, B, C, D, E is possible too, or down, up, and then down, some bigger flat correction, zigzag correction, or flat correction like that. Those are options, but in any case, the 23.6 fib is likely to provide some bounds. And then, because of the wave 4 structure, I think it's just going to go flat rather than an uptrend. All right, and there could be big swings up and down on lower time frames, though. All right, pound USD. Yeah, it's probably the same. And we were seeing a bearish candle last week too. It might be the end of wave 5. Let's take a look here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of 5 might be finished. And we might be getting a bigger, that could complete wave A up. And we might be getting a bigger A, B, C down within wave B. So here too, price could easily, I think, in my view, fall to the 23.6 fib at 131.60. Then later, maybe even to the 38. Let's take it step by step though, and dive into the 4-hour chart. And here too, price is very choppy. This is very choppy and volatile. It seems almost like an expanding wedge as it's getting with lower lows and higher highs. But yeah, a bit messy as well, to be honest. But we do have continuous higher highs and higher lows. Now we have some lower highs and lower lows. We're at the moving average zone. I think for this point of view, not a good spot. But if it shows an upside and hits the resistance trend line here, let's add that, and then moves lower like that, I think that could be a good bounce for a push further down. And the target could be towards 132.50, 134.20. All right, from here to there, like this, from the resistance trend line down to the 2761 and minus 100 target for the moment. But more downside is possible if we look at the daily chart. Then this is retracing the entire swing. Then that is more downside is possible here. Towards even 131.60, as you can see, the 23.6 fit. All right, that's it for now. Wish you all great trading. We'll be back on Wednesday, and have enjoy the days ahead. Cheers. Bye bye.